Hey there, Deadheads. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum, and today we're going to be doing another double reaction to the Grateful Dead. Both of these songs are from the same 1968 performance at the Avalon Ballroom. We're going to be checking out Saint Stephen, followed up immediately by the 11. I'm excited to check these out today, but before we do just that, a massive thank you to Jason the Radiant for making this donation request. And he dedicates this to anybody who hasn't heard 1968 Dead quite yet. It's a good cause. So let's jump in. And before we actually listen to the song, I actually wanted to highlight the website that we're listening to this off of. If you want to find it, you can do so by clicking the original link in the description box down below. You'll see the link to the site I'm using, and it's actually so well organized. You get on this leftmost banner here all the bands that you may want to listen to. So in this case, we're listening to Grateful Dead. You select that, select your year, and it has performances all the way from 1965 up until 1995, and even, today in history, right? So you have every possible dimension of the Grateful Dead right at your fingertips. Every single show, all of its tapes, and then you click the year, and within the year you have every single one of their performances. So today we're going to be checking out their October 12th Avalon Ballroom performance, and then you can check out every single one of the tracks within that performance back to back, and all of the associated information on the right with the different sources they use. I just thought this is really cool from a data collection standpoint. And to me, I knew the Grateful Dead fandom loves to keep archives of all of their work because so much of their music can be lost with the sands of time, but not here. So definitely I encourage you, if you are a Grateful Dead fan, go check out that link below and listen to everything you'd ever want to, Grateful Dead wise. But today we're doing Saint Stephen and the 11. Let's jump in.
Wherever he goes, the people all complain. Stephen prospered in his time. Well, it may and it may decline. It didn't matter, does it now? Stephen would answer if he only knew how. With a golden bell bucket hanging.
It's almost like in this performance they're leaning even harder into the rock moments, right? Do you hear what I'm talking about?
Clear to hell, they'll have breaks now and then. Even fill it up and lower down and lower down again.
Oh whoa, that is a complete shift. The moment I bring up rock, they completely change it.
Riding wood fall across the morning sky. Darkness splatters, done with answer. Darkness shrugs and bids the day goodbye.
Wow, that is like eerily beautiful.
Arrow, sharp and narrow. What a lot of fleeting manners you have. times past, several seasons with their treasons.
And this is a small note, but I really appreciate when the instrumental melody matches the vocal melody. I don't think artists do that enough.
Wrap the babe in scarlet covers, call it your own. Did he doubt or did he try? Answers plenty in the by and by. Talk about your plenty, talk about your ills. One man gathers what another man spills.
I like that line a lot.
Saint Stephen will remain, all he lost he shall regain. Please show up by the surf and the foam, but here so long he's got to calling it home. Fortune comes a-calling, Calliope woman, spinning that curious sense of your own. Can you answer? Yes, I can. But what would be the answer to the answer man? High green chilly winds and windy vines and loops around the twining shafts of lavender. They're crawling to the sun.
At this moment, I could almost imagine this song completely converting somehow into a sea shanty. I don't expect that to be the case, but this feels like a moment where a sea shanty could arise. And maybe this is just me bringing that up because recently I've been hearing more and more sea shanties on the channel, but somehow there is that like little mental moment I could like hypothesize happening.
Wonder who will water all the children of the garden when they sigh about the barren lack of rain and droops.
But they have to change the cadence, the rolling of the snares. Oh, wow.
Underfoot the ground is patched with climbing arms of ivy wrapped around the manzanita, stark and shiny in the breeze. William Taylor stretched his bow till it won't fetch no furthermore, and then you may require a change that hasn't come before.
Now we're in the 11. what's funny about everything is like Saint Stephen, like for all intents and purposes, is like the digestible track of these two. For the average, like, let's say, imagine like showing this song to like your average 18-year-old today. Saint Stephen is a song that the average 18-year-old could probably understand, and they would catch the lyrical moments, they would hear the intensity in the rock sections, but they would still, enjoy the intricacies of the Grateful Dead, whether it's like in those quieter moments dynamically or in those louder intense moments where the guitars and drums are really in lockstep. The 11 it's basically the Grateful Dead turned up all the way. Everything that makes the Grateful Dead like technically complex, structurally complex and complicated, as well as like beautifully confusing, is what we hear in the 11. It is very intense. It's happening at us very quickly. I'm here to enjoy it more so than understand it at this point. And if you gave this one to the average 18-year-old of the now, I don't even know where their brains would go. Like, I totally understand why watching reactions to youngsters listening to the Grateful Dead for the first time are so intriguing, because I too would love to know, like, how would a fresh mind take a song like this? Because even now I can still pick out a lot of the melodic intricacies or some of the moment-to-moment patterns that are created in the drums or in the guitar or in the bass, but it still even defies me. I can't imagine being 70 Grateful Dead reactions removed from where I am now. This would just blow me away, which it is now too, don't get me twisted.
Of what he started whispering hallelujah had right. Time of returning.
Okay, I just tried to count out the time signature here. I'm able to count a measure of 6 and then a measure of 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll try to count it out visually with my hands for you to see.
Leaving the child out, relinquish the rain. For our thoughts on the single bell rainbow. Now is the death of the moon. Waiting for the minute. Oh, still been a highway like red in the morning to the gold rainbow.
I tried. Now I know why this song is called The 11. Wow. Well, there you have it. That was Saint Stephen, followed up by the 11. That was so casually insane. And it seemed like in Death Don't Have No Mercy, they were going to finally, tone it down a little bit in terms of tempo and maybe feel as well. But man, I don't know how the human mind counts in 11. That is just like, I think what I've heard so often in Western music is, 4/4. It is like the common, the common structure that, time signatures outside of 4/4, of 3/4, 5/4, those four subdivisions feel incredibly hard to grab onto. The way my brain would think about like jamming along to something like this would be to count it in groupings of 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5, such that 6 plus 5 obviously equals 11, in this case the 11. But even with that knowledge, it would take so many years, at least for me, to be able to like fluidly solo along to tempos like this. Sometimes it's hard for me to like solo along to something in a standard time signature because the way the note or the drum beat is accented happens on the 2 of the measure instead of the 1, and then that can throw you off and you don't know which moment do you want to emphasize with the guitar lick. That problem becomes exponentially more complex the moment you get into subdivisions of 11. I've seen 13. I think I've also seen Grateful Dead do like a 17/8. These are all technically insane, but the thing is, it's not just insane to be insane. It all sounds good, and it all sounds just like the Grateful Dead, very fluid. It's like a stream of musical consciousness, is the way I've always tried to, in so many words, describe it as. Because you have all of the guitars just flowing effortlessly. You have the drums rolling into these notes effortlessly. And when you have something like, I don't know if it's 11/8 or 11/4, I think it would be like 11/8 or something like that, or maybe 11/16. Anyways, when you have a crazy time signature like any of those, it's on the back of the drummer to keep everything in lockstep. And I don't even know how I would approach re-entering a track like this after having lost my place, because I can already predict that if I were to try to jam along to something like the time signature involved in a song like the 11, I would certainly lose my place. And one of the hallmarks of a very talented and seasoned musician is your ability to in small moments fumble, misstep, play the wrong note, enter at the wrong moment, but quickly recover. In a time signature like this, quickly recovering is a mission. But man, does it sound good. Yeah, going from St. Stephen to the 11 was definitely a bit of whiplash, but hey, I'm all here for it. I love the Grateful Dead. I know you do as well. If you loved my reaction and would like to request one yourself, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.